the more you use ChatGPT, and we use the hell out of it at our company, the more you can smell ChatGPT. When someone gives you something, you're like, fuck, that was written with ChatGPT. Like, at
I'm
least
trying to teach it. I'm trying to teach it to where you can't tell though.
I know. So you use things like, make it sound more casual, this, that, and the other. So one of the things we do is we run it through Claude.ai, and they have just a more humanizing tone through it. So you get all your kind of content out of ChatGPT and then run it through Claude. And that just does a better job of like humanizing. And then of course you have to actually put the human, you got to read it and you got to fucking replace some of the words and,
Sure.
and make it sound like it's yours. In fact,
Sure.
right now, our team, just crazy, they're creating a Jarrod GPT. So that's basically they're ingesting all of my podcasts and all the videos and all the written content. Yep. And so now when we're writing stuff, we can write it in the tone. So, and which is just crazy to me, so.
We did the exact same thing. We have a Steve Urban's career coaching GPT that was built, and we did the exact same thing. We took the transcripts from the 2 books we've published, threw them in there, and then we have over 1,000 podcast clips.
Yep.
And we have just every day people are taking the transcripts from those and putting them into that GPT.
Yeah.
And then we're just training it, training
Yep.
it, which I think is key. And even for my own email writing and social media things, I built a GPT and told it I want to sound like this, and here's some sample writings from me. I think that's important to do for anybody listening. And to your point, still, I wouldn't just copy and paste.
Right.
I definitely would check it.
Yes. Well, and I think that's the thing is like everyone, if you're not playing around with these tools, you get nervous. You're like, oh shit, this is going to replace my job. And it's like, no, it's really not. It's just going to convert how we generated content before, or how we generated imagery or video or any of those things. Because, I've still spent hundreds of hours, learning these tools, and I still can't get a good output if I just drop it in there. You have to massage it. You've got to train it. And then you got to put the human element, the human spin on it. And so I don't subscribe to we're all going to be out of jobs bullshit. I truly think there's more people on this planet than there ever has been, and more people are employed than there ever has been. And we've always constantly innovated and created new technologies and stuff. So it's just a matter of shifting our jobs. And we just view them as tools, but we're embracing the hell out of it. We got a whole AI task force at our company. Good. We share on a monthly basis all the AI stuff that we're doing. We communicate with our clients. We got our legal counsel on board to check terms and use. And so, but it's just, but if you're not on board and you think that, and you subscribe to this is going to take everyone's job, well, it's probably going to take yours because you're not leaning into it,
Bingo.
But otherwise, I encourage you to lean into it, so.
Could not agree more, more, my friend. Anybody listening to this show who, this is hardcore. And by the way, I fired a couple of recruiters that worked for us.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not going to use ChatGPT to analyze a resume. I'm not going to use ChatGPT to write a job description.
Right.
And I go, okay, cool. You don't work here anymore.
Yeah. No, I appreciate your line in the sand. I think we're very much like on new recruits, we vet them. Like, how comfortable are you with these tools? Do you have any issues with this? And we're there's that idea of the change curve, where you're way over here and people still have to go through those emotions to get to the end to where you're at. So with our staff, we really walk them through like, look, we're not going to replace us as creatives. We're going to just enhance us and give us more time to be creative and more time to be strategic. And so to your point, totally subscribe to, hey, if you don't believe in AI, and we're going to work with you to try to get you there. But if you don't believe in it, then it's probably not the company that you should work with, at Noble.
You just hit a key thing I want to highlight there. More time to be creative.
Yes.
That is exactly what it's doing. It's eliminating, or it's decreasing tactical minutes.
Yes.
Tactical doer minutes, and allows us to be more strategic and creative, which is wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. It actually gives us more freedom, believe it or not. People think it's taking away the freedom. It's like, no, it gives us more freedom, but you've got to lean into it. You've got to lean into it, and you've got to not be afraid of it, and just play around. I always say to people, just play around with it. Like, grab a glass of wine and try to do something with it, and you'll be pleasantly surprised with the output.
One more thing on this topic, because we could talk about AI.
I know. No, 2 hours. Shit,
yeah. Here's something I use for the people, for the doomsdayers that don't want to use it, or they they'll call me and be like, look at this post. I can tell this post was done by AI, or I can tell this resume was done by AI. And they feel like they've accomplished something because they figured that out.
They're smarter than it. Yeah.
They feel victorious because they're like, look, look at this. This is what I've been saying lately. I'll be like, look, let me ask you something. Were you using spell check from Microsoft Word?
Right.
Guess what? That's a form of AI.
Yeah.
Were you using grammar check on Microsoft Word?
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, but that was AI. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, it's been around us this way. And I think the big shift was that where the fear came in is it switched from machine learning, to your point, like, smart machine learning, to then AI. And I think that term AI scares a lot of people, but there's been already, computer generated aided designs, and there's just been all this has been building to this moment. It just finally got in the hands of us, and it's automating some of the things we do on a daily basis, like writing emails or building outlines and things like that. And so I think that feels like a revolution, and it is, but it's just, again, I always just subscribe to it's machine learning that's more and more advanced than ever. Will we get to, AGI? I don't know. They say it maybe 5-7 years. I don't know. We'll see, but either then I feel like they're going to serve us. If we do get to AGI, they're going to serve us. So,
yeah. I want to talk about how it's affecting marketing agencies specifically, but first let's touch on the AGI thing. So I agree with you when you said it's not gonna eliminate all these jobs right away. I think in the short term, you're right. People are going to embrace it. People are going to transition into different types of work. It's going to free them up to do different things. Now, let's go forward 20 years.
Yeah.
And there truly is an AGI humanoid robot standing right beside me that can do anything I ask it to 100 times better than me. Okay.
Yes.
Let's assume we get there, which we probably will, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Guess what? I love to go camping in the mountains. I'll just have my AI robot do everything and I won't work. That'll be just fine with me.
Back to freedom, right? It's going to give us hopefully more freedoms, and so, maybe we put them on the problems we're having right now too, like in the world or, and whatnot. So, I think it's an interesting, I have a tendency to be an optimist and I embrace change. And even though I hate it sometimes, but when it lands on my doorstep, I'm like, fuck, here it is. And then I open the door and I invite it in. And I think that's served us really, really well over the years, is just to be an optimist and accept change when it hits your doorstep. And it's those that resist and are thinking negative first that they often live a negative life, and they don't often capitalize on opportunities that are in front of them.
Great mindset, Jarrod. I will tell you, you're one of the industries, you're one of the sectors, right? That is nervous as hell. When I was, going through my calendar this morning, getting ready for all the stuff we had coming up, I was looking at your company. I was like, oh boy, he's one of those guys that's got to be a little bit nervous, but your attitude is wonderful. The way you've grabbed a hold of it is fantastic. It's like, hey guys, look, this is here. We can't make it go away. Like, no, he's here. Sam's in the room. So let's be friends with Sam and figure out how Sam can make us better.
That's right. Well, and I think I mean this, I think that those will survive and thrive who have that mindset. And so, like, when we first, to your point, that moment of epiphany, when we start playing around with the tools, we're like, oh my gosh, this is doing stuff that's way more powerful than we expected. That's when right away we're like, we got together, we huddled, and we said, let's get an AI intern, let's bring someone on board and just have them play with the tools. Let's build a task force. Let's build a point of view. Let's bring our legal counsel in. Let's experiment. Let's do, instead of a hackathon, let's do a promptathon at our office, and we'll invite the community in, and we'll learn together, right? And so I feel like taking that approach, we're not going anywhere.